Kids. Hi, kids. Thank you for your comments. On one of those comments, I can't remember which one, and I just went and looked for it. I get comments wherever I'm at. They come over my phone, and so wherever I'm at, I'll be reading. I'll be out to dinner with people, or I'll be out drinking, and I get comments. Middle of the night, I'll be up to pee, be reading comments. I don't remember who it was, but somebody wanted me to get more old school, talk about more old school stuff. You remember, you know who you are. I don't really know who you are right now, but I know what you said. And so I plan to do that right now and mess with some people at the same time. I like to do that. And I'll come from the left field, as I often do, in a perspective that you probably haven't heard much at all. Are you a hereditary witch? That used to be a big question. It still is with some people. Some people deny your witchness if you are not hereditary of the blood, as they say. Well, I am of the blood, and I have been actively in the craft for like 35 years. So I've seen some stuff. I've seen some things, and some stuff. And I'm here to tell you that in the old school, your bloodline was altered during the initiation process. That's right, the old school belief was that your blood was changed by the process of initiation. And you go far enough into the old school, and they actually changed your blood through sexual initiation. It was believed that the exchange of bodily fluids altered the bloodline. Now, that doesn't tend to be done much anymore, but it was back in the day, and it opens up for some interesting beliefs. If you think everyone you ever had unprotected sex with, you became of their bloodline. I don't know, maybe it has to be done in a magical situation or something like that, hopefully. At any rate, it was this process of initiation was seen to alter your bloodline, and then you were of the race of the witch. The wiki, whatever terminology you want to give it, we are of the belief that we come from this very old stock, and whether we are born down through the bloodlines, or maybe even bigger arguments, like it's something in our ancestral DNA. Our ancestral memory has memories that we have no reason to have. Stuff that we have no reason to know is somehow encoded in our DNA. So our ancestors, our pagan ancestors, are in us all. So even those that aren't pagans have their pagan ancestors in their ancestral DNA. So that'll fuck with you right there. But the belief that your bloodline was altered, and then you were of the blood. So hereditary became a whole different argument in the old school through the initiation process. Some people still have that kind of, still are doing those same rituals, but have lost that concept. It's not talked about anymore, but it was very much talked about when I was a kid. Very much talked about in the Italian witchcrafts. They believed it, and it's a very ancient idea, actually, amongst scattered races. There are many scattered races historically on the planet. Usually, religious persecution and that type of stuff tends to be the most common. Few of those can we still see, but we can see them. There's one that we all know very well, the Jews. The Jewish people still have that in their belief system. If you look at it closely, you can come from Africa and become a Jew, and even though you're black or you're African, you're Jewish now. You are of the race of the Jewish people through their initiation process. Very old belief. Few races survive long enough to keep those beliefs alive, but we can see it. It's similar to that. They are of the same race and suffer for that, regardless of their color. Once they become that race, they take on everything of that race. But this is what we can see with the Jews, is that this was a common belief amongst scattered old cultures. We said the gypsies were that way too. The gypsies don't necessarily come from anywhere, but you're born of gypsy blood. You're not race was not regional when you were a scattered race thrown upon the wind. And we tend to be of the belief in all of the witchcrafts and the paganisms of the world that we are a bunch of scattered on the wind races that came back together, whether it was reformed or whether unbroken through time. It does not matter. We have that belief in our system too. Bloodlines were altered by our initiation rituals. So that opens up whole other arguments. You can have those, or maybe I'll have those for another thing. I'm not saying that if you weren't initiated, you're not a witch. That'd be another argument for other people to have. But if you have been initiated, then maybe this hereditary thing is a whole different idea than you've thought it before. You can read some of the older books or something. You can see it, but it becomes lost with Wicca. Unfortunately, Wicca scatters and dilutes the pond to such an extent that it's really hard to find the old pieces. But they do float to the surface. It just takes somebody to recognize them and pull them back out of the muck. Lots of great magical practices and philosophies lost over time because there's too much of it now. We have too much diversity to where we've lost a lot of what is us. I'm not sure what my conclusion is or my solution is to that. But that's the way it is. We've lost a lot of our old school because there's so much new school on the market. Almost like disinformation. There's so much other information, we can't find the original information. It's really hard to dig out. But I wanted to throw that one out there because I've heard the arguments for years, but I never heard anybody come to an interesting conclusion like that, or the conclusion that seemed obvious to me. And that's why I've been a witch my whole life. There's just stuff in the craft that seems obvious to me immediately when I see it, and it's not obvious to other people a lot of times. And I have a knack for making it obvious to them, so that's just why I do what I do all the time. Come by the Grove, and I'll do it. Talk your ear off, tell you some stories. This has been a shorter one, but I wanted to throw out that point, and then the other one. Ancestral DNA. We have things born into our blood, instinctual things that go back to when we were scared little creatures hiding from dinosaurs, wild instincts from the woods that we have no reason to have because our people haven't been in the woods in a very long time. Well, a lot of our people, our culture, our civilized culture people, haven't been off in the woods for a very long time. We have no reason to have those instincts, but that's it. They're instincts. There's stuff born in us. It's born in our bones. We are stardust, landed here to evolve, to become us. That stardust was many other things before it was us. And it will be many other things after it is us. And this I will leave you with to mess with all of your ideas of reincarnation until I decide to talk about it again. Merry meet. Merry part. Merry meet again.